Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Mahogany, and the only way I know how to describe this shrimp is to call it the best peel and eat shrimp you will ever have in your entire life. So you're going to start by taking at least 2 to 3 pounds of jumbo shrimp. You don't have to use this much, that's just how much I have. This shrimp was actually caught locally and my grandma gave it to me. She cleaned it, took the head off of it, and it's perfect. So luckily for me, all I have to do is go through and clean it with some water, give it a good rinse, and that's it for me. But if you have a shrimp that you bought from the store or you got it from the butcher at your local grocery store, then you want to make sure you clean that thoroughly. But once that is all done, we're going to move on to prepping our veggies. And for our veggies, we're actually going to go in with the Holy Trinity. So I'm going to start by using a small amount of celery. This is all I like to use. Like I always say, I love the flavor of things, but I never like too much of a certain thing. And celery is one of those things. So I just go in and cut it straight down the middle. And then I go ahead and I dice it really small, or at least small enough to break down inside of the juices when we go to cook it. And then I'm going to go in next with a green bell pepper. This is another one of those things. I am not too fond of too much of it, but I really love the flavor that it gives to a dish. So I'm going to go in and dice up this very small amount of bell pepper. And believe me when I say, although this is a small amount, it will definitely give off the flavor that it's supposed to give off. So if you're worried about that, don't be. So after that's all done and diced up, we're going to move on to our final vegetable, which is a yellow onion. And y'all know y'all know me when it comes to these onions. I love onions. I put onions in everything. So this is a brand new onion, which required a little bit of work, but that's okay. We are just going to get this peeled and diced. So I'm going to go ahead and take that outer layer of skin off of our onion, and then I'm going to go ahead and chop it down. So I did use a bit more onion than I did with the celery and bell pepper, but it's all personal preference. Like I always say, alter these recipes to your liking. Y'all know I'm good for telling y'all I am not a chef, nor do I aspire to be, so do not judge my cutting skills or anything like that. And also, like I said, I'm not a chef. So although these flavors may not pair well to you, they pair very well to me. So just alter it to your liking. Once that is all done, we're going to move on to the juices that we need, which is a lemon, which is what I'm going to start with. I like to use a whole lemon, and my lemon is pretty small, so I am going to go in with something else in just a little bit. But while I am here, we're going to squeeze out the juice of this lemon, seeds and all. Don't worry. Before I add this, I will remove the seeds from it. And I just like to put it in a measuring cup. This does not have to equate to the amount of juice that you use. It's all personal preference. Like I said, I just like to put it in there because it's convenient to transfer it. And now this is the other fruit that I'm using, which is a navel orange. I like to use a navel orange because I like the sweetness that it gives the dish. It doesn't give it too much of a sweet taste that's overpowering, but it definitely does add some flavor to it. And because I'm using a navel orange, it also pairs really well with that citrus from the lemon. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that off to the side, and then we're going to move on to creating our sauce. To a pan on medium heat, I am going to add in a whole stick of butter. I know it seems like a lot of butter, and it is, but we are going to need this butter to create the delicious sauce that we are working on. So once that begins to melt down, I am going to go in with some olive oil. If you have canola oil, you can definitely use that, or if you have vegetable oil, you can use that as well. So I'm going in with 2 tablespoons here, and then I'm going to get into adding in the veggies so that those can begin to cook down. Like I said, we are really going in and adding a lot of flavor into this dish, so you don't have to worry about that. I like to add these in first just to let those take a second to cook down. So I let it sit for maybe about 3 to 4 minutes just to let those veggies release that flavor and soften up a bit. And now I'm going in with 1 whole cup of chicken broth. You can definitely use a white wine if you prefer to use that. I don't, so that's why I use that. And now I'm going in with a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And then I'm going in with a full teaspoon of that paprika. I'm also going in with a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, a 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, And then I'm going to go in with some Old Bay. This is a full teaspoon. And then I'm also going to go in and give that a good mix just to let those flavors kind of begin to marry together and love each other. When it comes down to cooking, you really want to pour a lot of love into it. So just take your time with it. Now we're going to add that juice from the lemon and the orange into the mixture. And it's important at this step that you do taste your sauce just to make sure that the flavors are where you want them to be. Keep in mind this will be a bit of a spicier dish because of that cayenne, and because I was not satisfied with the sweetness and I did feel like it was a little too spicy for my husband, I did go in with a teaspoon of sugar. This is completely optional. You do not have to do that. Like I always say, taste everything. Taste, taste, taste. You want to know what you're serving to people before you serve it to them. So give it a good taste. And now we're going to add in that clean shrimp. And you want to mix this a few times, but you don't want to continuously stand there and mix it. Like I said, you really want to take your time when you're in the kitchen and really let those flavors do what they're supposed to do. So I did give that one mix, and I'm just going to let that continue to simmer on a low heat. So this is on a medium low to low heat, and I'm just going to mix it and get all of those shrimp that are uncooked to the bottom and those shrimp that are cooked towards the top so that they do not overcook. The last thing you want is overcooked rubbery shrimp. So just take your time, give it a good mix. Do not have that heat super high, and I promise you will get the result that you are looking for as long as you take your time. So I'm going to go in quite a few more times just to make sure all of those shrimp are completely cooked through. Once your shrimp is all done, this is what it should look like. Nice, beautiful, vibrant, and orange. All of those flavors are in that pan. You want to make sure you taste it. Yet again, it's okay to taste it. You have to eat it, so make sure you taste it. But this is it for this yummy peel and eat shrimp. I paired it with some corn. I hope you liked this video. If you did, comment down below and don't forget to subscribe. Bye, y'all.